Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. We are going to talk all about my new 4K YouTube filming setup because I've already gotten so many questions from you guys, and I really wanted to have a resource to point you guys to when it comes to the current gear that I am filming on my YouTube videos with. And last year on my channel, I shared my old filming setup. So that one is definitely more of an entry level, affordable way to get started with YouTube when it comes to the camera, lens, mic, lighting, all of that stuff. So if you're interested more in an affordable setup to get started on YouTube, and that's honestly the setup I still use for if I'm going to do any like vlogging or anything like that. And I'll actually have to use that camera in this video in order to show you my new camera. But if you're interested in that at all, the link to that video will be right down below this video if you want to hop over there if you're curious. But I did switch and upgrade my camera. So part of that switch was because I transitioned my business out of offering photography services and photographed my last clients last fall, and since then have sold a lot of my camera gear. So I also really wanted a solid camera as well, and I wanted a mirrorless camera, and I wanted one that was going to be great for video too. So that's also a big reason why I upgraded. But honestly, I've been so excited about just the better quality my YouTube videos have been since upgrading, and it's been awesome. Awesome. So I am very excited. I'm going to share basically, everything when it comes to my new camera, the new lens that I got, the mic that I'm using, the new tripod that I got, which is a game changer. I didn't even know that tripods could matter that much, but they really do. And I'm also going to share a few other things with you that I have upgraded, including my lighting. So let's go ahead. We're going to jump into talking first about the new camera that I have. All right, so I switched over now to my old filming setup so that I could show you my new one. You probably can already tell a difference in the quality. It's kind of wild. Even though I love my old filming setup, it is so easy for beginners. So if you're just getting started, but there's definitely less flexibility. Even in the lighting, I can tell is not as good for this camera versus because this one is such a great quality. This lighting works really well. And this is about the same focal length too. So what that means is the how wide the lens is about the same, which is just wild. But anyways, let me explain my current setup now. So what I have, so I ended up getting the Sony a7 IV, and this is actually a brand new Sony mirrorless camera that just came out. I know they have the Sony a7R IV, I think this Sony a7R III, they have so many different options. And honestly, if you're wanting to upgrade your camera and you're wanting, especially for me, I wanted to film in 4K. That was something that really appealed to me in a new camera. And so that was something that I was looking for. And Sony is just so great for video. And I wanted to go the route of kind of upgrading all my gear to Sony, and that's just what is going to work really well for me. But anyways, so I have the Sony a7 IV, and the reason why I held out, honestly, I held out for a good 2 months because a few months ago I wanted to buy a new camera, and I ended up waiting until and pre-ordered this and waiting until it came out at the very beginning of January of 2022. So the reason why I waited, it's because all of their other mirrorless cameras in my price range, which I was willing to pay anywhere from, up to maybe $2,500, $3,000 for the camera body, because it was going to be the main one I was using. I was selling all my photography gear and all of that. I wanted to have just a really solid camera. And so a few different things for me why I love this camera, why I'm so excited about it. First of all, obviously it's a full frame mirrorless camera. I'm really excited about that. It's so lightweight, which is amazing. And some of the features it has that appealed to me versus some of the other cameras, it has all of the features that I really, really needed as someone who creates a lot of content, photo and video, was one, flip out screen. So it flips out to the side. There are some Sony cameras that actually the flip out screen flips only up or down, which just seemed weird to me. And especially if it flips up, if you're going to use a mic, then it's that doesn't make sense. You can't really see it. So having a flip out screen, preferably one that flipped out to the side, was really important to me. Another thing that was important to me was that it had dual SD card slots. So especially when I'm filming or taking images, but also just for video. So it's actually, I don't know if there's another camera in this price range from Sony that has dual SD card slots. All the other ones I was looking at only have one SD card slot, or if they have two, it's like a CF card and an SD card, and CF cards can get really expensive, and I already had a ton of SD cards, or it didn't have some of these other features that I'll talk about. But essentially, when you open it up, there's two SD cards. You can stick them in here, and whenever you are filming or taking images, it will automatically be like either recording or, you know, saving the images to two SD cards at the same time. So if your SD card ever were to get corrupt or broken or anything like that, you would have an immediate backup of everything you just did. So it always made me nervous. The camera I'm filming on right now only has one SD card slot, and that's pretty typical for like an entry-level camera, for like a cheaper camera. That was something that was like something I really wanted, especially because this will be the camera, like if we go traveling or anything like that, this is the camera I'm gonna be using, and I don't wanna risk losing images that I could never re-record or never get back. So that was really important to me. Another thing that I really wanted in a camera was to not have a recording time limit, especially as someone moving forward. Because I am so comfortable filming videos, I wanted the ability to film future like course content by myself and then pay someone else to edit, because it doesn't really take me much more time to do that. Like, I would rather film it by myself and have that flexibility of when to film and everything versus having a videographer, like hiring a videographer, having them come set up, all of that stuff. Maybe that'll change in the future, but for now, I like having the ability to do it myself. And even filming YouTube, sometimes there are some longer videos where I just go on and on and on and I have to cut out a lot of stuff, but most DSLRs, especially the Sony ones I was looking at, have a 30-minute time limit on filming or recording. And so that means that after 30 minutes, it'll automatically stop filming. And that's the same thing with this Canon M50. So I was really hoping to get a camera that didn't have that recording limit, and that's the case with this camera. So as long as there's space on the SD card, it'll just keep recording continuously until you turn it off, which I think is the coolest thing ever. Besides that, it was really just the fact that it's a quality DSLR camera. It can film in 4K without it like cropping in. So technically, like, this Canon M50 can film 4K, but what it does is it crops in like what would normally be like what I'm filming right now, like these dimensions. It like automatically crops it in even more, which just makes it more challenging with lenses and quality and microphone quality and all of that. And so that's why I really wanted a camera that was going to be full frame, and if I filmed in 4K, it wasn't going to like do this weird cropping or anything like that. And then the lens that I decided to get that is currently on this camera, I do have two lenses. I have a 50mm, which I use just like photos of myself and stuff like that. The lens is called the Sigma 16mm f-stop 1.4. And so I wanted a lens that was gonna be wide enough that it's gonna be a very similar focal length to like what I'm using right here, because I just really enjoy that focal length. I enjoy a wider lens when I am filming YouTube videos. It makes it feel more personal, in my opinion. But I was really hoping to find a prime lens. So one of the biggest things you could probably tell when I switched this camera, like my background isn't like blurry anymore. And the way you get blurry backgrounds is by having really low f-stop. So in that title I gave, when I said it goes down to f-stop 1.4, the lower the number, the blurrier your background. And so I've actually already filmed a bunch of videos with this lens and on this camera, and I bring my f-stop down to 2.0, and it allows me to still be like close to the camera. And because the other thing too is if you're shooting, so say I use my 50mm, which is like I'd have to sit further away to get the same crop of me when I'm filming. If I were doing that, like even the further away I come from the camera versus the closer up I get, you can probably even notice very subtle changes in the audio. So the closer you are to whatever mic you're using, generally the better your audio is going to get. And so that's also why I wanted a wider lens so that I could sit closer to the camera, have a great like audio quality, be close enough to the mic that it's not going to make a difference without having to go crazy with another mic setup, like a boom mic, or I don't even know. Like, there's so many different things you can do with mics, but I wanted to keep it simple. Like, I wanted just to be able to plug in the mic, be good to go, all of that stuff. And so that's the route that I went with this lens. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm already obsessed with it. So like you saw at the beginning of this video, just the quality, it looks amazing. It being a prime lens means you can't zoom in and out, but that does make it generally a better quality for the amount that you're paying for. So for example, so this lens, the original price is $620, but I'm looking at it on Amazon right now. It looks like there's like a rebate going on or something for $368, which is incredible. And so I'm super happy with this 16mm lens. It's not too wide, but it's wide enough that I can sit close enough to the camera without anything being too distorted or anything like that. The last thing I'm gonna mention before I switch back to this camera to film the rest of this video is you might have noticed this little red dot on the bottom here, and that is because I actually also upgraded my tripod, which let me grab it real quick. So it's this tripod here. I already have it extended and I don't want to have to put it all the way down and then back up again to keep filming in a second. But guys, this tripod has changed my life. I didn't even know that a tripod could matter this much. I honestly did not care about my tripods before, but I actually heard about this tripod from Catherine Manning. I don't know if any of you also follow her. I love her videos, but she's very good at YouTube and YouTube filming and gear and stuff like that. From someone who does not understand the super techie stuff, she does a good job like explaining it. And so I saw her get this tripod and I was like, I need this, because if you've ever filmed YouTube videos, one of my biggest pet peeves is if I ever need to change the battery, if I ever need to change out the SD card, or I like taking the SD card out in between filming to upload to my hard drive. And what this does is it's just a tiny little thing you screw into the bottom of your camera, and it's not really gonna mess up like if you wanna set your camera down, or it's not going to like be this big clunky square thing that covers where your battery and your SD card might be. And so then it's really easy for you to just literally push this, pop it in, and then you close it again, and your camera is back in there. And then you can literally just take it out, and you don't have to deal with unscrewing this off in order to change your battery or anything like that. It just like it's the extra 5 minutes that adds up 5 times while you're filming that can save you 30 minutes in a day of filming. So highly recommend if you are either investing in a tripod for the first time. I believe this tripod, yes, it was $70. There's links to all of this below, by the way. I should have mentioned that at the beginning, but we have links to all of the gear I'm going to mention in this video, like right below in the description. But yeah, I'm pretty much obsessed with this tripod. It's super easy. Like once you have it on, you just you can tighten this, and then you can move it around like however you want, which is super easy, super convenient. So if you are investing in a tripod for YouTube filming specifically, this one is literally my favorite one I've ever tried before. All right, already so much better. Like look at that quality, you guys. Okay, so I've switched back to the A7 R4 with that lens, everything I was just explaining to you guys. I feel like it's a little closer than it was before, but you know what, it's okay. So now let's talk mics. So my mic situation has not changed, but in case you haven't watched the other video about the mics that I use, I have the Rode Video Mic Pro Plus. So it's kind of a long name, but it's just this really simple mic right here. You plug it into your camera and adjust some settings. I just use some YouTube videos that go with my specific camera to know like what settings to adjust, played with it until I got the best settings and the quality that I liked for my audio. This is around $300, so it is a little bit more of an investment for a mic, but I've been loving the mic quality, especially with my new camera. It's been really, really awesome. And then so right now, because I wanted to be able to show you guys this mic, right now I'm using the Rode Video Micro. So that one is about $55 on Amazon. So if you're looking for a more affordable option, you can probably tell this audio is actually not bad at all, especially, you know, compared to $300 for this versus $55 for the Video Micro. I know a lot of YouTubers who just use the Video Micro and don't even upgrade. So I definitely think it's a really great option, especially if you're getting started. And if I had a day where this broke or something and I needed to use this as a backup, I would be totally happy with it. I don't know if I would even feel like I would need to buy another one of these, because I actually got the Video Micro after I got this, and that one ended up being really, really nice. So yeah, so those are the mic situations that I use. All right, let's chat lighting real quick because my lighting situation has also changed, and I found a lighting setup that I personally really love. If you are willing to invest a little bit more, it's actually not that much more than the lighting I recommended in the video on YouTube lighting, which we'll link right here and down below. If you also want to watch that, it's a little bit more in depth on lighting, how I set up lighting, all of that stuff. At the time, the lighting setup I recommended was from like Limo Studio, and it was about $55. I saw the price went up to about $70 though, but that can be a really great option if you're just getting started because it comes with a couple of big lights and umbrellas and the tripods and everything you need, and it's just really simple, which is something that I really like. I did end up getting a new lighting setup that I think I actually like even better just because it's a little bit softer. It was a little more complicated to set up for the first time, but once I have it set up now, it's pretty simple to use. So I'm going to actually grab my camera real quick and I will turn this around and show you like what it looks like right now because I'm using it for filming. So this is the situation. That's where I've been sitting to film. And that's the tripod, in case you're wondering what it looks like all set up. This is the new light, and I have it set up on our bed because like you can see, we have a whole like the desk is in the bedroom situation right now. And so this is what the light looks like. It's way bigger than the other lighting that I have been using, but I really enjoy it because it just plugs in. And then on the back, here, let me get up here to show you. It's super easy to adjust, so you can like adjust the brightness here. Like this is down low. If you're on the other side, you can see like how bright you want it to be, and then you just turn it on to, this is like your Kelvin, basically like the white balance of the light. So generally you want to use 5500, 2700 is really warm. You can see how orange that got. And so 5500 is what I've been using. I turn it all the way up and then turn it down just a little bit, and then I put it off to the side, and I generally only need one of these lights going. Unless it's like a super dark day, then I have set up, depending on like where I'm sitting too. If I'm sitting towards the window, or right now I'm kind of away from the window, but so like if it was a really dreary day, like you can see I have this ring light on right here too, just giving me a little bit of a boost on that side. But I also sometimes will pull out to my old lighting and set one up like over there or something, depending on like where I'm sitting and what's just gonna make the lighting look best. But yeah, I've been really enjoying this because it's definitely very soft, and it mimics a window better than I think the other lights do because it is square and like big and a little bit stronger. The last really important thing that I got for my new filming setup is a pair of backup batteries. So if you are filming especially YouTube videos or long form content with a camera, you're gonna wanna make sure you have extra batteries on hand. I bought these like immediately after I bought my new camera. And it's just 2 pairs of batteries. I got off-brand batteries. They're from New Year, I believe. They're linked, I think they're only $70 for like the charger and the 2 batteries, which is a pretty good price. And it's just helpful in case you forget to charge a battery if you are filming a ton and you run, like I'm through, I think I'm on my 3rd video today I'm filming, and I've already used half, at 52% from a fully charged battery from the beginning of the day. So it's just a good idea. It's so affordable to have backup batteries on hand. So we'll link these below too. These are specific to my camera though, like a Sony mirrorless camera. So just make sure you're getting batteries that go with your camera. Like research it, make sure it's the right one. But I think that about wraps up this video. Let me know if you guys have any other questions about filming YouTube videos. If you have any questions about gear. Again, this was definitely more of an investment for me, but because so much of my brand now is about the content I'm creating in my YouTube videos, I really wanted to, just upgrade my equipment and invest into that. And it was a really good time in my brand to do that. So I definitely don't think you need fancy equipment in order to get started filming videos, filming YouTube videos. I used my previous setup. Again, we'll put a link below to like the exact setup if you're getting started too. That's really what I would recommend because it's a lot less of a commitment financially. It's a lot more affordable, and it's gonna get you started in the right direction and seeing, if you love creating this kind of content, and it's a very simple setup to use. Like you literally can just plug stuff in. It has face tracking as well, all of that kind of stuff. And so for me, this investing in this came after a long time of using that other setup. I think the other setup, I'm trying to remember when I would have gotten it. It would have been, I think it would have been like early 2019. So it's been a good almost 3 years, 2 or 3 years using that camera, and then the lens that I talk about in the other video that I use with the camera. And so it served me so well for so long. So I don't want you guys to think that like you have to get all of this fancy equipment in order to get started. Like, I've grown my YouTube channel, I've grown my brand, I've created digital products using that camera, and it served me so well. And it doesn't mean you have to spend, you know, this new setup that I have is a good, when I add it all up, I mean, it's over $3,000. The majority of it is the actual DSLR, but I just don't think by any means it's something that you absolutely have to have. But if you are also at a point where your brand is growing and you want to invest in your equipment a little bit more, then I hope this video helped you in deciding, you know, if you want to grab one of these things or if this setup might also work for you, and just explaining my thought process, why I chose the camera that I did, because every time I share about it, I get so many questions. So I hope that this answered a lot of your questions. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. That was really fun to get to show you guys like all the gear that I'm getting, because I kind of got really excited about like researching it and finding out which one I wanted, and it's been great so far being able to film content with it. I've been absolutely loving this setup. So I will see you guys in next week's video, Tuesday, noon Eastern Standard Time. As always, if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, we share videos every single week on Tuesday all about how to confidently grow your brand with easy content creation. So if you need help creating content like YouTube, Instagram, Reels, short form video, all of that fun stuff, really a lot of video content, be sure to follow along or subscribe and turn on the notification, because then you'll be up to date on all the new videos. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.